I have a very special guest here. She was diagnosed with terminal cancer, given 3 months to live. Tell us what happened that day you went to the emergency room and why you went.
So my first symptoms were 2016 Ash Wednesday. So my diagnosis was the 22nd of February. So it was just a few days before that. 22nd was on a Monday.
And you were perfectly healthy. You were a personal
Fine.
trainer.
Personal trainer, doing triathlons. And I had numbness on my entire left side in church. My face was numb. Everything was numb. And I just I brushed it off.
Yeah.
I thought about it and I brushed it off, and that was a Wednesday. So then Monday I woke up and, your normal routine.
You have a
thing.
young son?
Yeah, I'm getting up and getting ready, making him breakfast, and I'm picking up, didn't
Take
get
it a
to
little closer.
breakfast. Yes, I picking up my dog bowls and I kept dropping them.
Oh, so
I
your
was
hand
totally
wasn't
numb.
working.
Right.
That's scary.
So I carried on. I took my son to school and I called my chiropractor and I said, is this a result of my pinched nerve or something? And, I had told him that I was
you
numb.
did a lot of exercise, so
He
you
says
might think you
need-
just threw something out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you need to go to the ER now. And if you're driving, stop. And I drove myself to the hospital.
Boca Regional?
Boca Regional. And because of the symptoms, they immediately did a brain MRI and found multiple lesions in the brain and determined that it was metastatic, because normally if someone has brain cancer, they have a tumor. So I had multiple brain tumors. They scanned my body and my
So they knew
lungs
it was
were
coming
full.
from somewhere else.
Somewhere else. I
Okay.
just needed to find that site.
And it was your lungs?
Lungs.
And you're not a
Lungs.
smoker?
No.
Wow. And how many tumors did you have in your lungs?
Multiple. They'd say, I had 4 to 5 sizable between the two lungs, and Dr. Vegas would call it a snowstorm of flurries.
So that's little tiny tumors all developing.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it had metastasized to your brain.
Yeah, correct.
And I think you told me you had one fairly large tumor in your brain that was operable.
It was. It was
Okay.
3 centimeters. A
Wow.
little over 3 centimeters.
Is that what was causing the symptoms on your?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I had that brain surgery done on the 3rd of March, so it was just like the next week in Miami.
Immediately.
Immediately, and it was amazing. Dr. Komatar in Miami just.
And I had your I think the doctor that you had at Boca Regional, your
Dr.
oncologist.
Who is me, Dr. Oh my gosh, Sajil Chowdhury.
Chowdhury in here with you.
Yes.
And he told me that when he looked at your brain scan in the hospital before he went to see you, he said he was blown away as a doctor that sees this all the time because of the magnitude of it.
Just you saying that.
Scary,
it's-
isn't it?
To go back to that day
Yeah.
and that I'm sitting here now.
He said he was afraid to walk in and talk to you, and you were all cheerful, even after he gave you the diagnosis.
Yeah. I don't think I really knew, I even said it was metastatic. Well, what stage is that? I didn't know that.
Did they give you a
Metastatic.
stage?
Well, stage 4 is
Stage 4.
metastatic.
There's
That
no
means-
stage 5, right, Leanne?
Exactly.
Oh, my
So that means
gosh.
it's traveled from the primary source.
Right. And so I believe they told you that you would have 3 months to live if you did nothing.
If I did nothing, I'd have 3 months at best.
Okay, gotta get a little closer to your mic.
And so, so then,
And your options were not good at that point either, right?
No, they did a biopsy of my lungs, and I really didn't know what would come of that, what that would mean for me, the biopsy of the lungs, what else they would try
Sure.
to
What would you know about any of this?
reveal from that
point.
But of course, they wanted to start generalized chemotherapy right away and suggested after brain surgery to do full brain radiation.
And we had talked about this before, Leanne. If you do full brain radiation like that, it can really destroy your brain.
It
and
changes who you
who
are.
you are.
I
If
mean,
you've known anyone that's had that done. So you knew that. You
Yes.
told me you knew that before going
Yes.
into it. So you wanted to take your son on vacation and tell him
Yes.
because you knew afterwards you wouldn't be the same person?
Well, I took my son on vacation because I thought no matter what happens, right now is good.
Because you're still
Yes.
you.
So let's go on vacation and then deal with, what the treatment is going to be after that.
And I can't imagine knowing, because you educated yourself on all of this. I know you really
did.
went out there and figured out what was going to happen. So you knew what could happen to you if you had brain radiation.
Well, and just treatment alone, I mean, my chances of survival I would have had to have been pumped with enough chemotherapy to kill an elephant.
Right.
I mean, it's not like I had one tumor. It was just a different situation.
Multiple. However, when they did that little sampling of the tumor from your lungs, they were doing genome testing, I believe.
Yes.
And only a very small percentage of patients can respond to the type of treatment that you ended up being able to get. And they called it a designer cancer, as I remember.
Special.
A special cancer.
Special.
But, I mean, you weren't lucky because of what happened to you, but you were very
Yeah.
lucky
Oh
that
my
you had
gosh.
that type of genetic.
Absolutely. Because I had pretty much said just generalized chemotherapy and full brain radiation was not going to be a choice that I was going to take. I had
You weren't gonna do it?
digested No.
Oh, no.
No. And so, I just kind of
So
figured
you
in my
were-
faith in God that if he wanted to take me, let him take me. But I
So,
wasn't
okay,
going to die.
had they not told you that you were a candidate for the
No.
genome therapy, you were going
No.
to do nothing?
Well, I'm not doing anything right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
But with a
So-
3-month diagnosis.
Well, I just thought I've had a great epic life. I'm not ready to go, but if God wants to take me, let him take me.
So you were just going to let go?
Kind of.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Well, fight in my own
But not with radiation and
not
chemo.
with generalized. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a tumor or two. I just felt differently about it. I mean, I'm a tiny person to begin with, and when you start putting massive amounts of poison in your body, like chemotherapy and
Yeah, you are a tiny
so-
person, and I know they would have really had to hit you hard because of the stage 4
think-
cancer.
I don't think I'd be here, Becky.
Right.
I really don't.
But tell us what happened.
But,
Yeah.
so-
The wonderful doctors at Boca Regional Medical Center. We got to give them a shout out because
I have the best
saved her life.
oncologist, I am telling you. And
Dr. Vegas and Dr.
Chowdhury are my oncologists.
I know
and-
both of them.
Yes,
Wonderful doctors.
Right, and Dr. Mike Casper, I met.
Know him too? He lives near me.
And the radiation oncologist, I met him on a bike ride before I was diagnosed in
Before you even knew-
October
Oh, you're kidding me.
of 2016 or of 2015, and I have just now recalled that was the first time I had symptoms because I was on a ride
No, and you were with
30 minutes before I met him, and I had this numb, and I said to my cycling partner, I gotta wait, I've got this flashing and this numbness. And
Oh,
I
you're
did not
kidding me.
realize
And he
that
was on that-
and I met him at the bakery drinking well.
Okay, so that's some kind of fate.
Yeah,
and-
right.
Yeah, okay.
So my biopsy came back, and I had a very rare mutation called ALK rearranged, and it
ALK rearranged was your diagnosis.
Yeah,
And
well,
you were
it
probably
was
like,
my
what's that?
type of
Your
mutation.
type of mutation.
Yes, of this cancer. So that enabled me to be a candidate for a targeted therapy drug.
And did they
So-
know how well it was going to work on you? Did they give you a lot of hope? Or did they just say, we're going to try this?
No percentages,
'Cause it's so
unless you
new.
look on the internet. And I
brand
never
new.
even looked on the internet because I said that's not going to give me any kind of
Oh, no,
positive
yeah. You don't want to go digging around
information.
on there. Oof.
No, so,
I get a little thing on my hand and I go look and I'm like,
right. Yeah, it's
no, you
not
don't want-
good. You're going to
No.
lose your hand.
Yeah, right. You don't look on the internet. Okay.
So I started a targeted therapy drug. And
Which
I
was only
on-
an oral medication, right?
was
You
an
didn't
oral
have to do chemo. You
medication.
didn't have to do radiation.
I did not. It's a chemotherapy drug. I
Right.
still take it today.
Okay.
But I took, of course, insurance. I as severe as my diagnosis was, they made me start it at a level 1 drug. There were 3 levels to this drug.
Because of your insurance, you were telling me that.
Just, you
frustrating.
know.
And would the doctors have preferred to start you on a higher level?
level 3, the top.
And they can't get
Yes.
around that.
No,
Ah.
no, not until the change in my brain MRI.
You had to get worse.
Exactly.
Oh, God, that makes me so
Exactly.
mad.
But you know what? It sure gave me hope that I didn't have to take that route and be so sick and throwing up. So
Did you get sick at all from the?
No.
No. So you
No.
got to take an oral medication.
tired, very lethargic. I did have blood clots in my legs and my lungs, so I was on blood thinners, which was a whole nother nightmare. Yeah, after brain surgery, I was on steroids, heavy-duty steroids,
Oh,
for
did you
an
get all
extended
puffed up?
period of time. Very, very puffed up. I mean, puffed up, scuffed up.
Oh.
It was not a good time. That wasn't the me that, everyone was used to.
No.
But it sure beat the alternative.
Did it ever?
Yeah.
So then eventually you went in for more scans. How long were you on the treatment before they
I
started?
still do brain MRIs every 2 months. My lung CAT scans were also very similar in time, every 2 months. And so I had from diagnosis in February, no change all the way through until I started. I did a lot of from day one juicing.
I know
We
you
had
took care of
berry
yourself.
wrap.
Yeah.
Yes, did massive amounts of raw juice that I had delivered to my house, and changed my diet to a primarily plant-based diet, but found that very, very difficult.
Yeah, a little thing like you going through all of that.
Oh my gosh, and I just got so skinny at one point, my doctor said, go eat a burger.
Yeah, eat some meat.
But and then I started doing a little bit of alternative medication in August, and still on that same drug, which had showed no progression of the lesions.
We're talking about the oral medication for
Right.
for the targeted
But
therapy.
it had held everything back from growing,
So everything
it
was
hadn't
just
diminished,
staying the same.
status quo.
Okay.
And then I started, I did a lot of research on cannabis oil.
I know you used cannabis oil
And I
as a
started
part of your
using
treatment.
that in August, and by December, same protocol, except for cannabis oil is added into it. I have juice, I have medication, cannabis oil. December, my lungs were clear.
Completely clear.
Clear.
Oh my gosh! But are you attributing it to the cannabis oil, or are you
I think
attributing
it's
it
a
to the?
combination of all three.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that changed.
So you did the juicing, the cannabis oil, and the targeted genome therapy.
Right.
Okay.
The tumors in the brain were still the same. There were surgically, one was removed, so I still had 11
And they couldn't
tumors.
remove the others because they were
Non-surgical,
inoperable.
right.
Okay.
And so January, my brain scan still revealed 11 tumors. One had changed a little bit, but it was just a millimeter or something. But it was enough bigger. But it was enough to get me to the
get to the next
Generation
step.
3 drug, which was wonderful. Not that we skipped the middle. Okay. So I started that drug the middle of February. So March, April 5th, I had my next brain MRI. Sit.
Oh boy.
Wait for it.
Okay.
March, April 5th, my brain tumors were gone.
All of them were gone?
Complete, and I have all the paperwork that shows like all the near complete resolution.
Why do you say near complete?
Because they won't
say 100%.
They won't say. It's near complete resolution, and ever since then, there's nothing. And the radiologist reports are just astonishing. They said this is just...
I'm sure the doctors love this because this is all new medicine and they want to see successes like this. They must be just thrilled with you.
So exciting.
Yeah.
So I would not want to have had cancer 10 years ago.
It wouldn't have been there, would it?
No.
Wow.
And so it's been quite a journey, you have that cloud that kind of
what are they telling you as far as prognosis then?
Keep doing what you're doing.
So you're still on the drug?
I'm still on the drug.
And you will remain on that drug?
Until it quits working.
And then I understand they could put you on another drug if that one quits working.
Well, if that, if that day ever comes, then there'll be something better by then, But
that day may never come. You may stay on this medication forever?
Could be.
Okay.
Nothing is forever.
Are there any side effects or anything of it?
I would just say, some stomach issues and nothing
bad.
Lethargy. I have hip degeneration from the steroids, but I'm healthy.
You
I'm
look
probably
great,
the
Leanne.
healthiest I've ever been.
I know. You look even healthier than the last time I saw you.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I can't say I've ever felt better.
Really?
I'm cycling again.
Huh.
I'm climbing mountains again.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'm going to Europe. I'm going on vacation. I said, you know what? Anyone that wants to wait for anything, to do anything in their life.
That's what I love about this story, Leanne.
Don't wait. Do it now.
Do it now. Don't wait. Don't put something off.
You never know.
Yeah.
What a difference a day makes.
Right. So you're just living your life. You're like not holding back.
Living large, yes. And I talk to a lot of cancer patients. I meet with a lot of cancer patients. And
even just putting you on social media that you were coming, I got a lot of comments from cancer patients that you're giving them a lot of hope.
It's so important. It's so important that no matter what, that you have a positive outlook, that you have a
You always
positive
did.
attitude, and that you
Dr.
never
Chowdhury
give
said
up.
that even when he gave you your diagnosis, you were more worried about him because he was upset.
Just, what do you do? What do you, thank God I'm a faith-based person, because I tell you what, I just knew that I didn't have any control over it.
You
can
just
have
let it
all
go.
the money in the world, and it's not going to fix it.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
miracles happen.
I know, and that's the message that I want to get out there for people. And, after I had you and Dr. Chowdhury on the show, I got a lot of messages from people that wanted to meet him.
Yes.
That knew of someone or were sick themselves and just wanted to learn about this.
Exactly.
So,
and that's what's happened with me is a lot of people reach out and, if nothing else, if I can give people hope in the deepest and darkest times when you think there is nothing that, can help you crawl out of this, it's a lot of it is positive. It's positive attitude over everything.
And something else I've wondered about, do you think it matters what hospital or what doctors you go to? Do you think you were luckier here than if you had lived somewhere maybe in the middle of the Midwest? Does something like that make a difference? Do people need to travel to find this kind of
I
care?
guess, I think Boca Regional is a top-notch
Oh, it is.
facility. I mean, it's certainly, I just, couldn't say anything better about it. But, I had people ask me, have you gone for a second opinion? What is anybody else going to tell me?
And you had the best right here. And you were also involved with the University of Miami from your surgery.
He
So
did.
you couldn't do any better than
brain
that.
surgery, I was released in 22 hours.
Yeah, you told me that.
I ate chicken parm 3 hours after surgery.
See, you still had an appetite, even though you had just gotten this diagnosis and you had just had brain surgery. And I think you're a unique person. I don't think everyone would be like this.
I don't know. It's just the whole timeline from beginning until now is just unbelievable. So many things, good and bad, happen, but mostly good. I mean,
what's the bad that happened?
Well, going through steroids, being on heavy doses of Decatron. I mean, it's just as serious. It changes your whole personality, your whole look, the way your mind operates. And I, at that point, I was selling my house and moving and got rid of everything. I sold everything.
Why? Things didn't matter anymore.
Well, I couldn't handle my house anymore. I sold my house and I moved to a little chalet on the beach. And
you told me
talked
that.
to
That
the
actually
ocean
sounds
for
very
a
nice.
year. So, and so I still take my medication. I have my medical marijuana card. I see a neurologist in Stewart.
Yes, we're going to try to get him on my show in August. Okay.
Rabir Kashuti. And he is wonderful. And I was his 10th patient, and I was rescheduled like 3 times because when the law was like rolled out, nothing was in place.
Yeah.
And when he looked at my medical transcript of over 600 pages, he says, "You're the person, you're the patient I've been waiting to walk through the door."
Sure.
And, people really need to understand and take away the stigma that's attached to cannabis. People smoke pot, but cannabis is medicine.
It's a totally different thing.
And I will take it always.
And it's legal now in Florida.
It is, medically.
And you researched it yourself and decided that you wanted to use that as an adjunct to your medical care, correct?
What did I have to lose at that point? What did I have to lose? And I had read so much information on especially the effectiveness with people with brain ailments.
Okay, now let me ask you this. How did your medical doctors feel about that? Like,
one was
Dr.
glad
Chowdhury.
that I found my way to it.
Okay.
And the other, just really didn't have a comment on it. But I was always very straightforward in telling them what I was doing. And I think there's something to it.
Okay. Now, do you smoke it? Do you put it in your food?
No,
How
it's
do you?
oil.
It's oil.
Actual
And what do you?
extracted oil from the cannabis plant, and you do it sublingually under the tongue.
Do you feel high from
You
it?
feel very high.
Oh,
People,
okay.
and there's a big buzz about CBD, and it's certainly beneficial for a lot of people for a lot of different circumstances. But to kill cancer, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it has to have THC in it.
Really? Okay.
And it's no fun. It is not like being high.
It's not a fun high.
It's not. I didn't drive for 3 months. My mom
Ooh.
took my son to and from all his school activities.
Oh.
I slept for 3 months.
How did you feel? Just tired and wiped out?
Tired. As soon as you take it, you fall asleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't fun.
But you were still willing to do it because you believed it was going to make a difference. And look at you.
I know.
So,
too.
but now you don't really know. You just don't want to drop any of these things that you're
just
doing.
based on the research that I've done and the people that I have talked to that have decided to stay away from any kind of traditional medication and have purely cured themselves with
But
cannabis.
some people are doing it only with cannabis oil?
Yes.
And it's curing cancer?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. I have one man that I speak to that helped me along my journey in the middle of the state of Florida, and he's probably one of the wealthiest people in Florida, and he does not have medical insurance, and he does not see doctors, and he had prostate cancer, and he tests his levels, and
he
he's
uses
been
cannabis oil.
without medication, a doctor. It's 2014. He's been
Wow.
cancer-free.
Cancer free. That's amazing. Wow.
So there's a lot
Okay.
of stories, I think, that...
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to interview your, what's his
Yes,
name?
Dr. Kashuti.
Dr. Kashuti. Okay.
He'd
And
say Kashouti, I think.
Kashuti. Okay. So we're going to have him in here, I think August
The 9th.
August 9th, right here on the show. And he only treats people with cannabis? Is that his?
No. He's a neurologist.
Oh, he's a neurologist.
And really is
Okay.
why I wanted to see him, just
Okay.
because, it's the severity of it. I didn't want to just, and there are a lot of organizations and doctor offices that will put people through the system to get their cards, but not the in-depth,
Right.
attention that, I just wanted to make sure I was dosing it right.
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 And it sounds like difficult. So do you still do the cannabis oil?
I do.
Do you still get wiped out from it?
I do it, I do it at night primarily, and if I do it in the day, I'll do sativa, which is doesn't make you go to sleep.
Okay.
So
Sativa.
I
Now
keep
that's
it
that's
in
like an
my
old
system at all
butt
times.
smoking term, right?
Well, it
Sativa.
is. There's two different kinds. There's indica and
Okay.
sativa. Yeah,
Okay. Wow. So that's amazing. And you're still juicing?
I do. I juice every day, thanks to Raw Juice and Barry Rapkin.
Barry
and
Rapkin,
all
good
the
friend of
people at
mine.
Raw Juice, that whole team, and I'm sure everyone's so tired of seeing my posts at Raw Juice.
I don't think so.
I am telling you, those people, that team at Raw Juice is just part
Great
of
place,
part
right-
of my
right down the street
recovery.
here.
Yes,
Yeah.
part of my healing right there, still today. Yes,
So raw juice, you're still doing the oral medication from the doctors at Boca Regional,
Correct.
and you're doing the cannabis oil.
yes,
Okay.
and a healthy diet.
Oh yeah. And on top of that, you're a trainer and you know how to eat. So you've got
I try. Well, and I always did, but gosh, I guess I wasn't
Yeah.
eating the right things.
What are you doing there?
Yeah, who knows? You just never know.
No, you never know. That's the amazing part about this story. And you were so young too when that happened. That
Thank you for that.
yeah. I mean, look at her. Look at her. I mean, this is not your normal cancer patient. I mean, this is not what
Yeah,
people expect when.
it's surreal. It
And,
really is.
nobody can tell you why it happened.
No. People say that to me all the time.
Everybody
They
wants
say-
to know why.
Someone said
How
that
did
to,
you
to
get
me.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think it makes, I don't know, does it make people feel better if they can say that there was a reason? I don't know.
Gives you something to blame. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Wow. So you just accept all this and not angry?
You
don't look
what-
angry.
What is that? What is it going to do? I really have.
Did you ever get angry?
So, I never. I had.
You don't look like the type of person that would feel sorry for yourself.
I had my faith family at church. I had a Stevens minister that came to visit. My pastor and his wife were wonderful. Advent Lutheran Church is just an amazing place. But I never really went through. At one point, my neurologist said, "You need to go see a doctor. I need you to just go see some kind of, counselor,
Therapist?
Yeah, because you
Okay.
don't talk to anybody. You seem all fine all the time."
He probably thought you were putting on a.
Yeah, and he just told me, keep riding your bike. keep doing what you're doing. Ride your bike. You're good.
Yeah?
I don't, it's by the grace of God.
Yeah.
It's really not until I knew that I was not in control. And I said, you know what? I trust in the will that you have for my life.
Wow. Wow.
Otherwise, you fight it all the time. And
Yeah.
what's it? Wasted energy.
But I like what you said about people shouldn't waste time because you never know what's going to happen.
Do it now, just like Nike.
There
Do
you
it
go.
now.
Just do it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, we got to wrap this up, Leanne. It was a
you.
pleasure having you back
So
in
nice
here.
to
I've
see
had you
you
in here a
again,
couple times. I
Becky.
told you I'd bring you back from the very first
I
time.
love it.
And I'm going to see you on the 9th of August with your doctor, and we're going to talk
Yes.
about your cannabis treatment.
And hopefully someday soon there'll be a book.
Oh, you got to write a book.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh, you have to write a book. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
and
it's
then I'll bring
not-
you
it's-
on here to
yes.
promote your book, and I'll do a book.
wish-
I'll do a book signing for you too.
That'd be fabulous.
All right.
Great. Thank you, Becky.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Make sure you follow me because she's coming back with her doctor in August, and that'll be a great show.
All you need to know about medical marijuana.
Okay, that's good. Okay, bye-bye.